Welcome to Washington Hospital Today, the program dedicated to sharing timely information about the community hospital that's been taking care of Washington Township Healthcare District residents since it opened in 1958. Washington Hospital Today is provided for the sole purpose of informing residents about healthcare topics and issues that have been covered during community forums, free health and wellness classes, or as part of educational sessions held during the district's open board meetings. This program is one more way that Washington Hospital helps empower you, the residents of the district, by providing information needed to make informed decisions about your health.
Today's presenter is Lorie Roffelsen. Lorie Roffelsen is a registered dietitian at the Washington Hospital Healthcare System. Lorie completed her studies at San Francisco State University. She is a prominent speaker for Washington Hospital's community outreach educational programs.
Hello. Hi, good afternoon. My name is Lorie Roffelsen. I'm a dietitian at Washington Hospital. Welcome to our class today called Snack Attack, Healthy or Harmful. Kind of an ominous title, but I hope we have fun today. So our plan is to talk a little bit about snacking and food, and then we have lots of yummies in the back that we're going to taste later. I hope you saw some of the recipes as well. So welcome. So what defines a snack? So culturally, a snack is often defined as something that is consumed between regular meals, like your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now, researchers that look at snacking, they say biologically, it's defined as something consumed during a period of satiety or non-hunger, which is probably the more common occurrence here in this country. Often we don't eat because we're hungry between meals, but we eat because the food's there, or there's lots of food plentiful around, and we want to, often maybe we're offered something at work. We weren't even thinking about eating, but we end up taking a sample of it. Also, certain types of foods, like often the unhealthy ones, are considered or called snacks, like candy, chips, cookies, those types of foods. And some of the studies that I'm going to kind of mention today, some suggest that snacking can interfere with our energy regulation and lead to overeating and weight gain if we snack when we're not hungry. Now, there were some studies that looked at how the French snack. And the French, they have a word for it called goûter, le goûter. So they have a goûter sometimes in the afternoon between their lunch and dinner, and they call that a bite or a taste of something. And so some, not all, but some in French society will have this goûter in the afternoon. Researchers who studied the French who ate a goûter found some interesting information out. If they were hungry, and they measured their hunger by if their blood sugar dropped before they ate. The study showed they tended to compensate. They would eat their goûter, and then they would eat less at the next meal, which would be their dinner. Now, those that ate the goûter, but they weren't hungry, tended to eat the same amount at dinner, so they didn't eat less because they had eaten that snack in the afternoon. So it was kind of interesting. I'm not sure they really understood exactly why, but those that only ate when they were hungry did eat less at their next meal. And I put a panda on my screen because when I visited the San Diego Zoo, they have pandas there, and the whole time we watched these pandas, all they did was eat and eat and eat. They're bamboo, so they do a lot of snacking. They eat quite a bit, I guess, to stay nice and round like they are. But just to give you some smart snacking tips, try to snack only when you're hungry, not out of habit or routine. So a lot of times we eat because it's that time of day, or we have a bowl of ice cream because it's after dinner, but not out of hunger. Try to rethink what your snack choices are. Think of them possibly sometimes as a mini meal. So some of the snacks we're going to share today could be like a mini meal, like a little chicken slider. You could have that with some salad. So you have the potential at snack time to get in some of your vegetable servings or fruit servings or milk and dairy servings for the day that you need. Be aware of portion size. So most snacks, can be appropriate if you eat the right amount. So one of the snacks we're going to have today is a snack mix, which has healthy stuff in it. It's got pretzels and it's got dried fruit, it's got almonds, but all of those still, even if it's a nutritious snack, has calories, and so you have to be aware of your portion size. When you're snacking, also try to be aware, be mindful of where you're eating, what you're doing. Are you paying attention how much you're eating? So mindless snacking in front of the TV or the computer, or while you're driving or while you're reading, can lead to overeating. So you want to pay attention to what you're eating. And if you have a long day at work or if you go to school, try to plan and take healthy snacks with you if you know there aren't good options where you're going. So I mentioned that snacking can be an opportunity to get in some of the fruits and vegetable servings that we need during the day. So based on a 2,000 calorie plan, which a lot of us in this room, we probably don't need quite that many calories. 2,000 might be for more of an active man versus, I see mostly women in here today, so we probably need more like maybe 1,500, 1,600, or thereabouts for weight maintenance. But if you're on a 2,000 calorie plan, you need about 2 cups of fruit per day. You should be trying to consume about 2.5 cups of vegetables per day, 5.5 ounces of protein, and about 3 servings of milk or other servings of foods that are high in calcium. That's the primary reason we push milk and dairy. And for different age groups, the amount of milk, like for children 2 to 8, is only 2 cups per day. And then about 6 servings of grain. So each serving of grain is a 1 ounce bread equivalent. So that it would be like 1 ounce of a 1 ounce slice of bread, or a cup of ready-to-eat cereal, or half of a cup of cooked pasta or cooked cereal or rice. Now, if you want a more specific amount of servings for you, you can go to choosemyplate.gov and you can put in your age and gender and activity level, and you can get a more specific amount and calorie level that would be right for you. And then if we're talking about children, of course, if you're a toddler, you still need servings from all these food groups, but your portion size would be much smaller. So where we might eat a slice of bread or 2 slices of bread, a toddler might eat half a slice of bread. So kind of keep that in mind as well. Now, also when you're thinking about snacking, try to choose nutrient-dense foods. So here I've got a comparison of a cup of milk versus 100 calories or a cup of cola. And you can see cup for cup, the calories are the same, but you can see so much more nutrients are obtained from drinking that milk. You get calcium, you get your protein, you get vitamin D and vitamin A, versus there really isn't any benefit to drinking that cola. So think about nutrient-dense foods when you're making your snack choices as well. Now, when planning snacks for children or grandchildren, if any of you have grandchildren in here, children, especially toddlers and young children, need snacks to help meet their nutrition needs for the day. And snacks should be chosen carefully to help meet their servings for fruits and vegetables and milk and dairy. Since they probably don't eat maybe a lot of vegetables or a lot of fruit at their meals, those snacks are an important other opportunity to get those in for them. You don't want to eat snacks or serve snacks to children too close to mealtime because that may ruin their appetite for that meal. So try to space meals and snacks about 2.5 to 3 hours apart. And beverages at snack time should be water or milk or a limited amount of juice if you want to serve juice. And there are some juice recommendations now for children and teenagers from the American Academy of Pediatrics. So do not introduce into the diet at all juice for infants that are younger than 6 months old. They don't recommend serving juice in transportable cups or bottles, even though you might think, oh, a sippy cup is a good thing, it'll keep them from spilling. But you don't want them kind of going around and drinking that juice all day because it can lead to dental caries. So better they sit at the table, drink in a cup what they will drink, and then put it away. If children are aged 1 to 6, they should limit their juice for the day to 4 to 6 ounces. And children ages 7 to 18 should limit their juice to 8 to 12 ounces per day. And this is just related to some studies that link juice intake or sugar-sweetened beverage intake to overweight and obesity in children. So some snack pitfalls that we want to try to avoid. Try to avoid snacks with a lot of added sugars, fats, and sodium most of the time. Occasional less nutritious snacks are okay, but be mindful of frequency, so how often you're having those types of snacks, and also the portions. Avoid large portions that may contribute to too many calories to your overall eating plan for the day. And again, try to be mindful about when you're snacking. Avoid snacking because you're nervous or bored or tired. A lot of times people snack late at night because they're trying to keep up their energy level to stay up, and maybe they're doing work or homework. So the question is, to snack or not to snack? That is the question today. So some studies have looked at people who eat maybe only 2 meals per day or 3 meals per day, and how does that affect their appetite? How much do they eat at the next meal? The studies show that if you eat less than 3 meals per day, it may impair your appetite control. So then you may eat too much at the next meal when you do finally eat. So less than 3 meals per day is probably not good. Also, skipping meals may slow down your metabolism. So you may think, oh, I want to try to lose weight, I'm going to skip breakfast, which is probably the worst meal of the day to skip, or I'm going to skip lunch and then I'll eat dinner. But actually that can slow your metabolism, reduce fat oxidation, and encourage fat storage. So your body wants to hold on to any calories there. So it's better to eat on a regular basis. Also, some controlled studies suggest a pattern of eating 6 meals per day may help with appetite control versus eating only 3 meals per day. So I know I do talk to people sometimes who try to eat 6 small meals per day instead of eating 3 larger meals per day. The only caveat to that is eating more frequently should be done carefully, because if you are eating 6 meals per day, there's potentially going to be a total at the end of the day that could be more calories than if you eat only 3 times per day. So your choices at those meals have to be, carefully chosen, and you want to think about calories carefully. Otherwise, it could add up to excess energy intake and possibly weight gain. Now, what if you want to snack and you have medical conditions? So if you have, say, heart conditions like congestive heart failure, or you have hypertension, or you have high cholesterol levels. Of course, if you're focusing on fruits and vegetables, whole grains, those healthy foods, you don't really have to worry about it. But if you're looking at packaged foods, then you want to try to choose packaged foods that are lower in added sodium, fat, and sugars. Just to give you a guideline for sodium, since that can be an issue if you're looking at crackers or different types of snack foods. Try to choose packaged foods that have less than 300 milligrams of sodium per serving. That should be able to, fit into a sodium controlled diet. And if you really want to, choose more of on the low sodium side, then try to choose crackers or foods that have less than 140 milligrams of sodium per serving. Now, what if you have diabetes? So we know diabetes is definitely affected by foods that have carbohydrate. And so, planning meals is very important. Many diabetes medications are scheduled or taken with meals if you're on insulin or if you're on some oral agents. So if you eat a snack that is too large or too high in carbohydrate, you may have to consider how that may affect your blood sugar at the next meal. So if you are eating snacks between meals and you notice, if you check your blood sugar before a meal and you're kind of high, you could also think back to if you'd had a snack, could that have affected it? What can help is, portion control. So portion sizes, especially of the carbohydrate-containing foods, are key to controlling your blood glucose and weight gain. So I wanted to give you some snack ideas that are less than 5 grams carbohydrate per serving. So all of the ones listed here are, pretty low calorie, definitely low carbohydrate, but would be satisfying. So you have like your almonds, I wouldn't say is a low calorie snack, but because of all the protein and fat in the almonds, that would be very satisfying. Celery and peanut butter, it's a good combination. You've got a little bit of protein there with a vegetable. And often crunchy things are kind of satisfying. 5 baby carrots, 5 cherry tomatoes. Sometimes you just need a little something to kind of tide you over till your next meal. Cherry tomatoes and a little ranch dressing, half or a quarter cup of fresh blueberries, salad with a little bit of cucumber and vinegar and oil. You could also do something that's pretty much calorie-free, like a sugar-free popsicle, which might just kind of satisfy. Often when we snack or we're hungry, we're actually thirsty. So also make sure you're well hydrated and drinking between meals. Light popcorn, 2 saltine crackers. So you can see these are just small snacks to kind of tide you over if you just need something very small. Now my next slide, quarter of a whole avocado. Again, very little carbohydrate there. They're high in fat. Again, would be pretty satisfying. If you want something that has a little bit more carbohydrate, for some people with diabetes, they want to have a snack before bedtime to kind of keep their blood sugar levels steady overnight. Probably something in the range of 10 to 20 grams at night is a good amount. So that could be like a quarter cup of dried fruit with nuts, a cup of soup, like chicken noodle soup or something with vegetables in it. We usually count that for about 10 to 15 grams carbohydrate. A small piece of fruit, 3 cups of light popcorn. Here's a combination you can do, which is actually kind of similar to the bean dip we're going to sample today. This is, hummus is a garbanzo bean and sesame tahini dip with raw vegetables, and you can do any combination. All of the ones listed here are non-starchy, so they're lower carbohydrate. You could do cottage cheese with a little bit of fresh fruit or canned fruit. A small quesadilla with, and you want to use, small tortillas, either corn tortilla or small whole wheat or flour, like a 6-inch tortilla. Rice cakes and peanut butter are a good combination. Cheese and crackers. Again, try to choose low-fat cheese or small amounts. String cheese is a good option because it's already kind of portioned for you versus if you buy blocks of cheese, you may end up eating more. Half of a sandwich, half of a tuna salad and saltine crackers. That's a good combination. Then if you need a snack before exercise, for those of you, whether or not you have diabetes, sometimes it's good to fuel before you're going to exercise. About 30 grams carbohydrate is a good amount. Half of a peanut butter sandwich is a good example. 6 ounces of light yogurt with some fruit. An English muffin with margarine. You could have cereal with half a cup of fat-free milk. These are all kind of lighter foods too, because if you're exercising, you don't want to be eating something fried or greasy or heavy before you're about to exercise. Banana with peanut butter. And just some other tips to remember: know your portion sizes. And if you do have diabetes, don't forget to count the carbohydrate at the snack times into your overall plan if you're using carb counting. So just to kind of summarize, try to snack only if you're hungry, since the studies that are out there suggest snacking when you're hungry will not lead to weight gain or overeating compared to just snacking whenever we want to snack. Try to choose nutrient-dense foods for snacks most of the time. Think of snacks as the opportunity for a mini meal that can help fill in the gaps for your vegetables or fruits and grains that you need for the day. 6 small meals per day may assist with appetite control, but careful planning and attention to the total calories has to be considered. Because even a healthy snack provides calories that will contribute to your total energy intake for the day. So always keep those portions in check. And if you do snack, consider compensating and eating less at the next meal if you consume a considerable snack. So if it's larger than you might normally have, then try to make up, at the next meal and eat a little bit less. So that is my snack attack lecture. And I was going to show you a very simple recipe for a dip. I like this dip because it's lower fat than normal. How many of you have had hummus? Okay, so hummus is delicious. I like hummus too, but it uses sesame tahini, which adds fat to the dip. This is a dip you can make with just white cannellini beans, and the flavor comes from roasted garlic and some of the other ingredients I'm going to show you. So it is lower fat than like a hummus type of dip. And you can use cannellini beans, you can use other kinds of white beans, and basically any kind of bean that will puree. And what I did was I rinsed my beans after I used canned beans, which puree really well in a dip. And if you rinse canned beans or canned vegetables, it actually removes up to about 40% of the sodium. So if you're sodium conscious, always try to rinse your beans or rinse those canned vegetables before you cook them. That'll remove a little bit of it. Okay, so this is about 2 cups of cooked white beans. Just going to add those. Again, very easy. Okay. And then the other ingredients. Now, the only other step you have to take is you want to roast your garlic. So you take garlic, you leave the peel on, and you just roast it under the broiler for about 8 to 10 minutes until they're kind of nice and golden, and they get very soft. And so that takes away kind of the bitterness or the just a little bit of the strength of the garlic. So it mellows out the flavor, and then you can put it in your dip. And of course, you take off the peel and just kind of squeeze it in there. Just throw that in there. And you can add as much as you like. If you like real garlicky flavor, then you could add maybe 4. I'm probably going to add just 3. Okay. And it, again, purees up very nice. You can just kind of squeeze it out, actually. I don't know if any of you have ever had roasted garlic on bread. It's very good. Yeah, it's almost like butter. It just like kind of smooths out. Okay. Oh, and the other thing I was going to show you, if you don't have whole garlic, if you have like crushed garlic or chopped garlic at home, you can also roast that. So our chef roasted some off just to kind of let me show you other, you know, if that's what you have in your house, you could also use that. Okay. So the other ingredients we're going to add, we've got chopped parsley, about half of a cup. Let me add that before I... So the dip has a little bit of color, and you want to add a little bit of fresh sage. You don't have to chop it. You can just kind of throw it in there. See if I can get some nice leaves here. We have some made that you can all sample. Okay, I'll probably just put in like 3 leaves. Okay, and then you can put in just, and this is optional, but just a pinch of red pepper flakes will add a little bit of flavor. And then we have canola oil, which, you know, I think I'm going to turn it on, and then I will pulse it. Okay, let me add a little bit. This is lemon juice. And we add our canola oil. So the benefit of a homemade dip is you can control the fat in it, you can control the seasoning, you can control the sodium versus buying a store-bought dip. You really need some of that liquid from the canola oil and from the lemon juice to kind of get it moving. Okay, let me keep stirring it. Okay.
Could you use olive oil?
Oh, yes, you could. Sure, if you have a nice flavored olive oil. So the nice, you know, using a dip like this for, you know, after school kids, or just even at a party, this would be great. You could serve it with vegetables, you could serve it with pita bread, crackers. This can also be used as a spread if you want to use it in a wrap, like a wrap sandwich, and you could put lettuce in it and tomato and other ingredients like that. So you could use it, you know, a few different ways. And then the last thing you would do is just kind of season it with salt and pepper if you feel it needs a little bit more seasoning, and then that's it. It's ready to eat. So it's, you know, very easy.